This is a slide the mic in moment. Are you looking to increase your event participation? Keep on watching. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the LinkedIn events and a specific feature inside there to increase your event attendance. So let's get started. So for the purposes of today's video, I'm going to use a real world example. My friend Misha Saffron has invited me to her virtual event, which is on this coming Monday, July 28th, and she messaged me on LinkedIn and asked for some additional help in getting people to register. This is a free virtual event. We're going to be talking about empath is a superpower, not a liability, a panel discussion. There'll be like 4 or 5 of us on here. And she asked if I could send out an email or if I could just, get the ball rolling and getting more people aware of the event so they could register. And I said, I'll do you one better. I will use your LinkedIn event feature to invite my connections to attend. And she wasn't sure what I meant by that. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to do a video about this. So that brings me here to you today. So the great thing about using this feature is this doesn't have to be your event. It can be an event that you've been invited to participate on in a panel way or as a speaker, etc. And it can be an event that is hosted in a virtual environment or in an in-person. But as long as it's created in a LinkedIn event, you'll have access to this feature. So here's what you need to do. To find the event page, what I would recommend is starting at that person's profile. I'm going to start from there to show you how to get into it because these are a little bit tricky to find. You can't really find them from the homepage feed very easily, I'll be honest with you. LinkedIn does make things tricky. So starting at Misha's profile, I'm going to scroll down. I'm looking into her activity section. So I want you to think about when events are created, it will push a post on these. So they go into this activity section. Now, as long as they've created at least one event, they'll have an event tab that's listed inside here. And what I'm speaking about specifically is not just posting about an event, but using the LinkedIn event feature. Okay. So once I click on her event tabs, I can find it right inside here. And then you just click on the title and that will pull up the event page. Easy to do, right? The next thing you're going to do is go down, and I believe this feature is only if you've already indicated you plan to attend, but it might still be there. But what you're going to look for is the blue button that says share. Okay. Now, once you click under share, there's a whole menu of options that are available. You certainly could repost it to your feed. You could send it to someone in a LinkedIn DM, in a message. You can copy the link, share it elsewhere. If you're on other social media, Twitter, Facebook, etc., you can share it there as well. But the focus of today's video, I want to show you is how to use the invite feature. So when you click on invite, this is awesome. It's going to pull up this panel. And now what you can do is you can scroll through and you can hand select people who you think might be interested in this specific event. And once you do so, you click on the checkbox next to their name, and there's a little blue invite button in the lower right-hand corner. Once you click on that, it will automatically send those out. And I don't know if you've seen these before. If you go under your pending invitations, if you go under my network at the top, you might have seen other people invite you to their events. Let me see if I can find one in here as an example. That's a newsletter. A lot of the time, what we're seeing in here is just invitations from people. Sometimes we see invitations to follow a newsletter or to follow a company page. Here's one. So Vanessa invited me to attend, and then the title of the event, GI Bill information session. So that's how we receive them inside the invitation feature. So if you send them out, it will say your name invited you to attend, and then the title of the event. So again, even if it's not your event, you can use this feature. Now, I want to go a little bit deeper on here because the fact that you can invite up to 1,000 of your first level connections to attend events throughout the week, right? And I should say this is 1,000 invitation credits that you can use weekly. So what I mean by that is if you have multiple events that you use this for, you can use 200 for each of them, or you can use 900 for one and 100 for another, or 10 for each, whatever you want to do, but you only get 1,000 max that you can use every week. Now, you might want to be more specific on who you invite to the event. So, for example, let's say I really want to focus on people in the United States because of the time zone for this particular event. So, if you click on the location filter and add in a location and then click on show results, LinkedIn will now only show you people that match that location filter criteria. So it's only going to show me people in the US. Now there's only 4 filters that you can use, and you can use these in combination with each other. So you can add both the location, and they give you current company, I rarely use it, I'll be honest with you. You can use school, the college or university that they've attended. I rarely use that one, I'll have to admit. Or you can use industry. So location and industry are the two features that I normally will use because those will allow me to filter into my ideal target audience by criteria that I know. Company and school aren't as relevant. Now, if you work in a specific, like if you work in the tech industry and you want to target companies like Microsoft, etc., Apple, whatnot, you could use that feature. But I very rarely use that. I try to do it more at the industry level. And then within industry, I can now kind of look through this list and figure out what type of industry might people work in or is their company in that would be interested in this specific event. Now, you're going to notice when you click under industry, it's going to give you 5 options. If you aren't seeing the industry that you think might be relevant, what I want you to do is just start typing in a keyword. It's not going to give you like a running list of every industry until you start typing in a keyword. And that will include a list of any industry that includes that phrase as a part of it. So I, for example, I started typing in the word marketing, and as soon as I put the word market, I get all these different categories that are inside here. So I'm going to choose market research, for example, and then I click on show results. Now at this point, I'm seeing a list of individuals who are in the United States and who work in the market research industry. Now, the great thing about this feature is you can scroll down, you can scroll down, you can hand select people one by one, or this is something LinkedIn doesn't tell you. I'm going to lean in a little bit for this one. If you continue to scroll down, then you can click on the checkbox and it will automatically select everyone in that list. Makes it super easy for sending out mass invitations, but they're being sent, keep in mind, one by one. So it will say, if I send this to Gail Kahn, for example, it'll say Brenda Meller invited you to attend, and Gail's not going to know that I sent this to 74 of my closest friends at the same time as her. She's only going to see it as a single one-to-one invitation. So voila, I'm going to send that out to 74 people right now. You may notice every once in a while when you use this feature, there's a little bit of a pause. I have noticed the more people I put in a list of invitations at a time, the longer that process takes, because I think the wheels are turning in the background after you hit invite. LinkedIn's now automatically sending them one by one out. So I like to do these in smaller batches, no more than 100 people at a time. I've had a few instances where I've used this feature and I've gotten over 100, and then LinkedIn hiccuped, and then I had to go back and do it all over again. So I like to keep it under 100. That stays out of the hiccup zone, so to speak. And that way you can go back and you can add more in. You don't lose those invitations that are in there. So the great thing about this is, again, you can invite up to 1,000 of your invitations a week. It will exclude people who have already indicated that they plan to attend the event. They will not get invitations twice or 3 times. It will also exclude people who have been invited and ignored it. If they've said, I don't want to go, we're not going to keep knocking on that door for those individuals. Okay. So, again, this is the feature that you can use inside of LinkedIn as long as it's set up as a LinkedIn event. And I believe you have to be registered to see the share drop down on here. So you'll need to indicate you're planning to attend, then you'll see share, and then you click on invite, and it will pull up that panel. And then again, you can hand select people one by one, or you can use the filter feature to do some mass invites in there, getting up to 1,000 invitation credits each week. All right, so that's today's video, how to use this LinkedIn event feature to invite more of your connections and increase your event participation. This is Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing, hoping you to get, I should say, helping you and hoping that you will get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. If you found this video helpful, I'd love it if you could drop a comment below. I look forward to seeing you on LinkedIn. Take care. And I'm back to full screen. Take care again. Bye-bye.